Hey everyone, and welcome. We're diving into something today that's super important for any startup that wants to hit those big leagues: pitching to investors. We're going to break it all down: how to make a pitch that not only makes them listen, but also makes them want to invest in your dream.
Yeah, it's a big deal for sure.
Yeah.
This is about the lifeblood of a startup, right? We're
Yeah.
talking funding, but it's more than just asking for money, isn't it? It's about really showing what your startup can do, becoming someone they can trust, showing why you're a good bet.
So it's kind of like a first date, kind of like a job interview all in one, but with way more on the line.
Absolutely.
And our guide, How to Pitch to Investors, they really hit hard on the prep work. Finding the right investors is critical, they say.
It's like that saying about real estate, right?
Yeah.
Location, location, location. Only here, it's all about the right investor finding that match. It's not like one size fits all.
Right.
You wouldn't pitch like a social media app to someone who only funds biotech, would you? No, doesn't make sense.
Definitely not. So how do you go about finding the perfect match then? What should we be looking out for?
I always say, think about it like an investor thesis.
Yeah.
Basically, what's their philosophy on investing? What are they excited about? Are they passionate about sustainable businesses? Maybe they focus on certain industries, healthcare, fintech, whatever. Or maybe they're into early stage companies, or maybe more established ones. Figuring this out is like having the cheat codes to their decision making.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like an angel investor, for example, someone who's been a successful entrepreneur themselves often. They might be more willing to take a chance on a company that has a great team, even if their revenue isn't huge yet.
Uh-huh.
But then you've got venture capitalist firms. They're managing big funds, right? They might be looking for startups that already have some wins under their belt. A clear path to big growth.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Okay, so you found some investors who seem like a good fit. You've looked into their whole investment thesis, but then you've got to get their attention. And according to the stat in here, you don't have a lot of time.
Yep.
Investors spend, get this, an average of 2 minutes and 42 seconds looking at pitch decks.
Yeah.
2 minutes and 42 seconds, that's barely enough time to make a cup of tea.
Not a lot of time.
Mm.
Time is something investors don't have a lot of, so you've got to make those seconds count. And that's why you need a pitch deck that's short, sweet, and visually strong. Think of it like a movie trailer. Engaging, it tells you just enough, and it makes you want to see the whole thing.
So not just throwing every single detail about the startup in there.
No. Stick to the essentials. What problem are you solving? How? Give them a glimpse of your product or service. Yeah, show the financials, but keep it crystal clear, easy to understand.
Right.
And never, ever forget the people. Introduce your team. Investors, they're not just investing in some idea floating out there. They're investing in the people behind it.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot is riding on this pitch deck. They even say you should do test runs, like in front of an audience.
Absolutely. It's like rehearsing your lines before the big play. Right. Even the most experienced people out there, they'll tell you, practicing in front of people, even if it's just friends, colleagues, whoever, it's invaluable. They can tell you what's not clicking, point out those nervous habits you might not even realize you have, and it just gives you that confidence boost to walk into that room and own it.
Okay, so the big day is here. You found your investor match made in heaven. The pitch deck is basically a work of art at this point, and you've practiced so much you could probably do it in your sleep. Now what? How do you actually deliver that killer pitch?
Now's when it gets good. Remember that thing about investors spending less than 3 minutes on a pitch deck?
Yeah.
So if you've gotten this far, you've got their attention for a little bit longer, but you got to hook them from the first word. Think of it like a blockbuster movie, right?
Yeah.
You need that opening scene that grabs you. That's where the whole elevator pitch comes in.
Elevator pitch. Feels a little old school, in the days of TikTok and everything, but I get it.
Exactly. Pretend you're in an elevator. Your dream investor's right there with you. You've got, 60 seconds to convince them your startup is worth their time? How do you sum up your whole business in a way that's clear, concise, and makes them want to hear more?
It's all about that intrigue.
That's the elevator pitch. It's not just summarizing. It's about sparking their curiosity, making them hungry for more.
Like that movie trailer we were talking about before.
Exactly. And just like a good movie, your pitch needs a story. This is where the real magic happens.
Because investors, at the end of the day, they're people too.
They are. And people connect with stories. Would you rather invest in a boring spreadsheet full of numbers or hear a story about a problem that needs solving? A founder who's passionate, a product that can actually change things. Dry data might make them think, but stories make them asterisk feel asterisk. And that's where you want to connect.
So how do you work that storytelling magic into a pitch?
There are a few ways. You could share your founder journey, what made you start this company in the first place. Or maybe you paint a picture of your customer, right? Their struggles, what they deal with every day, and then bam, your product swoops in to save the day. The key is to be real, be relatable, be engaging. Don't just sell a product or service, sell them a vision. And that takes emotion.
Make them feel it, not just understand it.
Right. But as much as storytelling matters, don't forget about the elephant in the room. Competition. Our source, it doesn't sugarcoat it. You can't just pretend it's not there.
Well, yeah, every business has competition.
Exactly. Acting like you don't is a one-way ticket to losing their trust. It makes you look clueless or unprepared. Neither of those are good looks when you're asking for money. Investors want to see you understand the playing field. You know who you're up against.
So how do you talk about competition in a way that actually makes your pitch stronger?
Head on. Show them you've done your homework. Who are your main competitors? What are they good at? But here's the important part. Then you tell them what makes you different. What's your edge? Why are you going to be the one who wins in the market?
Know your strengths. Own your strengths.
Yes. And this is where you can really use that show, don't tell strategy. Words are powerful, but seeing is believing.
Right. Anyone can say their product's amazing, but it's different to actually show it.
Exactly. A product demo, or what they call an MVP, minimum viable product, can be a game changer here. Say you're pitching, I don't know, new project management software. Don't just talk about the cool features. Show them. Let them try it, experience it. Let them see how user-friendly it is, how it can streamline their workflow.
I'm convinced.
Right.
But what if you're still early stages? What if you don't have that fully functional product yet?
That's where the MVP comes in. It's like a sneak peek. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it gives investors something real to grab onto, to see your vision in action. And even if you don't have it ready to show during the pitch, just the fact that you're working on it shows you're serious, you're making moves, and you'll be ready to go when they invest.
So you've grabbed them with the elevator pitch, you've got them hooked with the story, you've addressed the competition, and then wowed them with the demo. This feels like we're getting close to the ask.
We are. But there's one more crucial thing, the numbers. Because as much as investors love a good story, a big idea, they want to know their investment is going to pay off. And that's where your financials come in.
Numbers don't lie.
They don't. This is where you back up all that passion with cold, hard facts. They want to see your business isn't just innovative, it makes sense financially. They'll want to dive into your financials, understand your go-to-market strategy, and see what the risks might be.
It's not enough to just say, hey, we're going to make millions. You got to show them the how, the why.
Exactly. Your financials, that's the roadmap to success. How much revenue do you have? What's your growth looking like? What's it costing you to get new customers? Those are the questions they'll be asking. You've got to have those answers ready to go, clear and concise.
Showing you understand the business, not just the dream.
Yes. And don't be afraid to brag a little. Talk about your traction. What proof do you have that things are moving in the right direction? Maybe your user signups are through the roof. Maybe you snagged a huge partnership. Those wins show them this thing is going places.
Like pointing to the finish line saying, see, I know how to get there.
Exactly. And speaking of the finish line, investors are going to want to know your exit strategy too.
Right, because ultimately they want that return.
Exactly. How are you going to make that happen? Are you thinking acquisition? A bigger company swoops in? Or maybe an IPO? Taking it public? Having an exit strategy shows you're not just playing around. You've got a long game in mind. You're thinking growth, profitability, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so you've laid it all out, the financials, the exit strategy. It feels like we're finally ready for the ask.
We are. This is where you tell them exactly how much funding you need. But just as important, how you're going to use it. Will it be product development? Expanding the team? Marketing blitz? Be specific. Be strategic. Show them you've thought this through.
Nothing says invest in me. Like a founder who's done their homework and has a plan, right?
Absolutely. But even with all the prep in the world, things can go sideways. Be ready for the curveballs, the tough questions, the skepticism.
Investors want to see you can think on your feet.
Exactly. How do you handle the pressure? How do you answer their concerns? Stand up for your vision. That's what the Q&A is for.
So it's not just about the presentation, it's about being ready for anything.
Exactly. What could they ask you? What are the risks to your business? What's your go-to-market strategy? How are you going to reach those customers? If you have those answers ready to go, it not only impresses them, but it gives you the confidence to handle anything they throw at you.
It's showing them you're not just passionate, you're strategic, you're knowledgeable, you're ready to tackle anything.
Exactly. But even in this fast-paced, data-driven world, never underestimate good old-fashioned passion. Let it show. Make a connection with them. Remind them. Behind every great product, every great service, there's a team of people who believe in it.
Because at the end of the day, they're investing people as much as the idea.
Exactly. They want to see that spark, that fire. That's what makes them listen. That's what makes them ask questions. That's what makes them want to be a part of it.
It's about more than just numbers on a spreadsheet.
So much more. It's about your passion, your expertise, and your belief in what you're building.
This has been such an insightful look at the world of pitching to investors. Any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with today?
If you take away just one thing, let it be this. Preparation is key. From crafting that pitch deck, to anticipating those tough questions, to telling your story in a way that resonates. But beyond that, let that passion shine through. Investors can spot authenticity a mile away, so bring your whole self to the table.
Love it. Preparation, passion, authenticity. The recipe for a winning pitch. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Until next time, happy pitching, everyone.